Thank you very much, Nigel. Now, a classic Corrie dilemma now. Oh, we love a Corrie dilemma, don't we? We're heading back to New Year's Eve 2005, where Sally, that's this Sally, Dynevor, but Sally on Corrie, she is heartbroken to discover that her teenage daughter, Rosie, is having sex with her boyfriend, Craig.
Rosie, I'm sorry. What's been going on? How could you? How could you, after everything we've been through? You don't realise how fleeting your chances are. What heartbreak and frustration and disappointment means because you know nothing about life. Because you won't let me find out.
Let me make mistakes if that's what you...
Some mistakes you live with for the rest of your life and they go with you always.
Oh. 19 years ago that was. Do you remember that?
I do, and I think it was quite a shocking storyline for me at the time because Sally makes Rosie take the morning after pill. And, but I think, you know, nowadays, the thing with Sally was at that time she was quite sort of pious and she probably didn't talk to Rosie and Sophie about all these things that she, you know, now she's very open, I think, as she's got older, she's much more open. And but in those days she was very, and I don't think she probably ever talked to Rosie about sex and the consequences of what can happen.
And would that have been considered, I said 19 years ago, was that a shocking storyline at the time?
Yes.
Like, A, that a 15-year-old girl was having underage sex, and the fact that Sally kind of forced her to take the morning after pill.
Yes, it was very shocking. I remember getting the script and thinking, oh, I really don't want to force Rosie to take the morning after pill. This needs to be a discussion, but actually, you know, it was a good storyline in that sense.
And that got us talking this morning about when do you talk to your children about sex? I mean, your children are quite grown up now.
Yeah.
Did you ever have the sit-down birds and the bees conversation, as they used to call it, or did you discuss sex with your kids?
We probably did, but I think we talked about it along the way, you know, like I think it's really important that I just tell the kids that, you know, it's comes from a loving couple who really love each other and want to be together forever, and, you know, just sort of sitting down and realising, you know, I wanted my kids to have a few relationships so they know who they're going to be settling down with. They don't want to settle for the first person they ever meet. I mean, that can work, but I just think having those discussions and talking about it and
so you
being
didn't
very
ever...
open.
It just happened organically, as they
Yeah,
say.
it did,
But
yeah.
Judy, you kind of do the sit-down, let's discuss.
Yeah, when my son was about, I don't know, about 7, and so my daughter, I had a little conversation because the school was like, oh, we're going to start the conversation. I was like, let me start with them. And I was with my son. I was like, you know, Mummy and Daddy, we loved you, and you came, and, you know, you hugged me, kissed me, and he was like, Yeah, I told him a lot. And then literally, like, you know, about a couple of months ago, you know, he's 15 now, I did the big talk. I don't know what took over me. Obviously, it wasn't a man. But what I did is I thought, let me have the big talk, and I got the laptop out and I went through everything. I went so in. He was just like, why is this? What's going on? Why are we having this? And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, no, son, because I just wanted to know that I've done it. You don't know where you're learning it from or what they might have taught you at school, but I think it was really important as his mum, as his parent, to have that conversation. And I went through I learned a lot myself. I went through everything.
Yeah, no, I did the same. So with my children, I've done the same. My children are 11 and 13, and so I've had those... Stories just come to my mind. My son came home, he's going to kill me. And he said, Mummy, there are a pair of twins that are interested in me. And I was like, that's a whole nother show. Anyway... But no, literally, I had really adult conversations with both of them because, I mean, age-appropriate, but adult conversations with them because I didn't want them to learn in the wrong way.
Yeah.
I wanted them to learn from me in a way that... Because no one knows your children better than you do.
Exactly.
So I wanted to have those conversations with me in a controlled situation. And for my son and my daughter, both of them, I think I've done my best to prepare them for what's to come.
So when you'd finished, you went in, you did the whole thing, laptops, everything.
Yeah.
Did you go, thanks for that, Mum, or was he a bit like...
He did. He just turned to me and said, what's going to be the TED Talk tomorrow, Mum?
Judy's TED Talk.